Good morning, guten Morgen, magandang umaga, konnichiwa, bonjour. I just want to do a really quick video before I head out today. Can you smile through the storm? That's what I'm gonna entitle this this video. That we know that the storm is here. We know the darkness is here, if you have eyes to see. We are to be the light. We are to show others what it looks like to walk with Christ. And I find it's important to unplug, okay? Find joy in the simplest of things. Like today, after I walk the dogs, I have purchased a scooter for myself. Not a razor, not ones with the little rubber tires, but a legit scooter. I used to have a scooter back in the late 80s. It was late 80s. I was going to say early 90s, but it was definitely late 80s. With the bike tires, the tube tires. With spokes. It was a legit scooter. And so my son, my 9-year-old son, has a scooter. So, you know, I'm one of those hands-on parents that, you know, plays with their child. So I purchased a scooter and we're going to go scootering and picnicking today. So hopefully we find a nice bike trail today. The scooter too, it also looks like it's right out of the 80s or 90s, the colors and everything. It's pretty awesome. So yes, I'm gonna be 45 in November and I'm out scootering with my son. So yes, if you can unplug, I find it's very important. You know, I also unplug with music. And I know how some people feel about that, like, oh, harmful frequencies, it's witchcraft, etc. But the Lord is the creator of everything. And I don't follow certain singers or artists. I don't idolize anyone, but I've always loved music. I can love a song and take that song and sing it to our Father, you know. So your walk is your walk. Music has always comforted me, even through the worst of times. So yes, I play music in my car and I sing my heart out. So yes, unplugging. And when you are confronted by others, or you're in situations where it's very hard to navigate what to say and what to do, don't stress about it. In most cases, I'm going to be honest with you and share my testimony. I don't say anything. And I know that there's a lot of evangelists out there who, well, so you're doing nothing? You're not spreading the word? You're not spreading the gospel? The thing is, if you understand the spiritual warfare, and you understand that people are spiritually blind and deaf, I'm not saying that I don't try to plant a small seed from time to time, but it's like it's very important in how people picture you and how people remember you. Were you that aggressive, preachy, over-the-top, in-your-face, pushy person? Or were you that loving, understanding, kind, meek, gentle person that said some interesting things that people thought about later? You see what I'm saying? People have to People have to have a warm feeling about you and the experience that they had with you to try to remember the conversation that they had with you, versus, you know, the opposite. If you were too pushy and you had an attitude and you were too opinionated for them and you just seemed like everyone else, you seemed angry or aggravated, or you think you know it all, you don't want people to have that picture when they think about you later. So I find it's more important to be kind and understanding and a good listener and loving others than it is to be pushy with things that they're going to turn you off immediately. Immediately. You know, try to remember, you know, looking over your life when someone tried to push their ideologies and their theories and their opinions at you. You shut it off. You didn't want to hear it. Especially when you were much younger. You're just like, I'm all set. The person's just too pushy. And, you know, it didn't appeal to you. You weren't attracted to that. You know, when Jesus was here, he didn't force people to listen to him. He spoke in a manner that people would want to lean in and hear the words that he had to say. Why? Because he was different. He was a light. You know, back in those times, it was very, you know, there was politics back then, dictatorship type, draconian, you know, it was just like today. Yet Jesus, you know, with his wisdom and understanding, he didn't want to be white noise. He didn't want to be another person standing on a soapbox preaching to people. He spoke differently. He wasn't like the Pharisees and the Sadducees of that time. He spoke in a manner where people wanted to hang on to every word that he said because he was different. He delivered it differently. You know, he said for the little children to come to him, don't stop them from coming to me. He was gentle. He was kind, warm, loving, listened to people, didn't just talk at people. He engaged with them and had a conversation and planted a seed when he could. He didn't force truth upon people. He kept walking. And people followed him. People flocked to him. Do you think they would have done that if he would have told them, you know, or spoken a manner of, you know, this is what you should do and shouldn't do? He spoke in a manner of, this is what I do. This is why I have peace. This is the truth. But he did it, he executed it in a manner where people would think about what he had said later versus completely turning it off right away. So again, it's very important. I'd rather plant a small seed of truth that someone may consider later than someone being completely turned off and not want to think of me at all. That, oh, you know, that's just another, you know, person trying to force their opinion upon me. Because look at what the tell lie vision does. it's like punching people in the face over and over and over again with their propaganda. And I understand that the enemy is trying to lull people under a spell and to hypnotize them and program them to get them to believe that because we're repeating it over and over and over again and we're forcing it at you and we're being angry, we're setting down laws and mandates and all this stuff, it's the opposite of what Christ did back then. That's why people were like, this person's different. This person has wisdom. Where did this wisdom come from? Where did this sound mind, rational manner come from? He was different. So we need to be different. So if the whole world is angry, you need to be understanding and kind. The whole world's impatient and pushy. You need to be gentle and not pushy. I hope I planted a good seed. Again, unplug when you can, okay? Find joy in the smallest of things and share those moments with the Lord and spend time with the Lord and cleave to the Lord and get your, re-energized through the Lord. It's like people are very good about draining you, and when you're a servant of the Lord, you're very giving to other people. Make sure each day you come back to the Lord so He can fill your cup back up again. So you can, again, the following day, you won't be drained to, again, be a servant and serve others and be a sound mind. Be a shoulder for somebody to lean on and love them. And above all, pray for them. It's not about your carnal works in a spiritual warfare. It's about cleaving to Christ, abiding in Christ, staying in truth, staying in the light, walking in His kingdom, because we're no longer part of Satan's kingdom anymore. Okay, we're in the world, but we're not of the world. We're in the darkness, but we are light. We are truth in a world that's full of lies and deception. I love you, and God bless.